Hello everyone, my name is Naga Vimprala. Welcome to the SAS introductory video. Today I am going to explain about the SAS, basic SAS, what exactly it is, and we will start with creating a small dataset by reading the raw data file in the form of Excel or CSV. But rather than taking the data from Excel sheet, I have hard coded the data within the data lines itself. I will explain what are the data lines and hard coding the data. So, what exactly is the SAS? SAS is the analytical software to perform statistical analysis. It includes starting from the descriptive analytics, inferential statistics, and then predictive analytics. So, right now, before going into descriptive statistics, let us start how to get the data into the SAS system and work on it. So the data in the SAS we call it as a data set. There are various ways of creating a data set. Either we create it from a data step, or we will use a PROC procedure. PROCs are like inbuilt programs within SAS. So today we are going to cover a simple code in which we read the data using a data lines. So here is the first sample code. Data employee base data, this is what we are creating, and I have around 18 rows of entries, and we have various fields like the date joined, experience in years, employee number, and learning credits, skill set, and finally the name field here. In SAS everything is in the form of integers or characters. We don't need to mention integer specifically, and until and unless we wanted to give a specific length for the integer, and just by mentioning the length as $10, we are reading 10 characters of data at the max. So if we don't give this 10, so we are going to read just the data character field. It can be of any length. By default the length is 8 bytes. So let's run the first sample code. I am using SAS Studio to run the code. It's a free version. When we download it, when we work on uh, cloud computing using the cloud, we will be able to run the code which SAS has provided by logging in into support.sas.com. We need to just create an account and work on it. So I am running the code now. If you see the properties of the data whatever I have created, which we can check it from the libraries, the properties of the dataset, columns, the columns that I spelled out till now, all these columns appeared here. Date joined, it's created as character which is of length 10. Experience in years, it's created as a numeric. By default, as I have mentioned, the length is created as 8. Employee number, it's created as 8 again. I have not mentioned the I have mentioned the length as 8 bytes, but that is the default length anyway. And we have employee number, learning credits, it's created as a numeric, and then the name 50 characters in length. So the dataset, first dataset is created, and we will be able to print the dataset by just giving a proc print, and we need to mention the dataset name using a data is equal to, and let's run this. Yes, I am able to print the dataset into the results tab. This is the way SAS Studio looks, and we have 3 tabs basically here: code, log, and results. Log shows if there are any errors generated. As we don't have any errors, it's not showing anything. And the result tab shows the data whatever we have passed. Let's have a quick look at what are all the fields, or what are all the properties that we have given while creating the dataset. we gave something like in file in the second line here. In file data lines. Data lines is where we pass the data inline into the program itself. So that is the data lines. And in file is the statement to specify the external file that we are referring in the program to read the data. Here the external file is nothing but the data lines itself. But if we have a specific file, we can give a file reference, something like in file, give a file reference, and then the file name. We can mention the file location. We can give like this, and delimiter says what is the delimiter that we are using in the data. So this is the way we can code. But as I have mentioned, I am referring to data lines. So with the delimiter, I am using the tilde as a default delimiter, and I am reading the data. The third line says input fields. We are going to give the exact input, what exactly the format of the input we are referring. Date joined. Here I am reading the date joined field as 10 characters in length. So 2014 hyphen 01 hyphen 15. If we read it as a character field, we will not be able to do any manipulations on the data. Like if I want to see like when the employee gets confirmed once he joins this company, when he got confirmed, if the probation period is something like 6 months, so starting from this day, immediately after that 6 months of the period, he will be confirmed in the company. But I will not be able to do such kind of manipulations using this date field if it is character 10. But let's assume that we have captured it as a character 10 field, and this is all the input statement. If we don't specify anything, experience in years, I have not specified what exactly is the format of this particular field, experience in years. If we don't specify anything, it's going to be treated as numeric. So this 7 1 second character, as I have used the tilde delimiter here, this is the second field. We are going to read this second field as a numeric field. Third one is employee number. Just keep aside what exactly is the column field, but apart from that, this $8 says this is the length of employee number field. If we don't specify the length, still the default length of 8 characters will be taken. So instead of mentioning it as a 8, I can just simply mention it as dollar, and still I can get the same result out of this program. Still there are no errors generated out of it, and yes, I am able to capture the employee number properly into this particular column. And even if I see the properties, the default length shows as 8 characters, 8 characters in length. So the default is always 8 characters in SAS. And next one is learning credits. Again, we have considered it as a numeric field, like 58 166, everything is captured as numeric. And then the skill set. Skill set, I have mentioned it as 50, which is nothing but mainframes, comma J2E, comma SAS, comma Perl, everything is captured into 50. If it crosses something like more than 50, that particular value will be truncated. Only till 50 characters it will be taken. And then finally the name, we have mentioned it again as a 50. But if you observe this particular names, they are not 50 bytes in length. So what exactly I am going to achieve uh, if I don't mention, I mean if I don't mention this column, if I don't mention this column, let's try to run the program. So instead of 18 records, I just got 12 records in the output now. There are some 6 records that got missing. So if we look into the data one more time, 93145 followed, second record is 81632, that's the employee number. But if you see here, the second record is having 266890. Where is this 266890? Third record. So the second record is missing. So something is happening here, which we are controlling using this column field. So what exactly is this column? It is this column specifies read the characters till the delimiter is encountered. So when we are reading it as till the delimiter is encountered or a new line is encountered. So when it is in the last field. So whenever we encounter some delimiter or a new line, uh, the particular value will be till that extent, whatever is the value that will be stored into the last field, and then new line will be read into the second observation. We call it as observation in SAS. Each and every row in the output dataset we call it as a observation. So if we consider this dataset, we have 12 observations. So that is what we are going to achieve with this column field. So without column, we will not be getting the proper value. Coming back to the PROC or procedure, print procedure here, it is just used to display the data. So this is a basic procedure to generate basic reports in SAS. We will cover in the future sessions what exactly are the reports and what are all the other procedures that we have in SAS. For now, it's a basic simple procedure just to display the data whatever we have. And next, as I have mentioned, we just captured the date joined field as a character field. Now I have a new requirement. I want to see what is the experience of the employee in the company in terms of months. So I want to calculate using this particular date field. Okay, when he joined from the current day, how many months he has been there with the company. Such that kind of thing we will be able to achieve using a function. We have a couple of date functions in SAS. Majorly we will use either intck or intnx. The another one we will see later. Based on this intck, we are going to advance. Okay, intck, we are going to compare the interval between two dates. Okay, we have a macro variable for now. Just we are not going to touch macros here, but I have a macro variable. It's a system macro variable using which I am able to get the current day. There is another way we can use current date function also, but I have used a macro variable sysdate to retrieve the current day, and I am going to compare current day against the date joining, and the interval I have specified is month. Okay, before doing that, I am doing some conversion here. I am converting. There are two functions to convert from numeric to character and character to numeric, as these are the only two fields or two type of data that we can read in SAS. So here I am converting the character field into the date format using input function. The the other way for this one function is put function. The put function will convert a numeric data into a character data, the vice versa of this. Okay, now this date join function is converted to a numeric in the format of yymmdd, which is of 10 bytes in length. As we have the delimiter with delimiter to separate year, month and day, which is hyphen. So this date is in the form of 2014 10/01 if we say delimited by hyphen. So in total we have 10 bytes in length. So that's why we have mentioned it as yymmdd10. You can refer to the SAS documentation what all are the different date formats we can mention. There are various functions around dates. It is a very critical function, but as of now just concentrate on input, which converts the character format of date joined into numeric to read it. This is the in format. Okay, I'm using a new word, new terminology here, which is nothing but in format. In format specifies the format in which we have to read the data. Okay, then here we are using the format. We have specified the format because I have mentioned the format as yymmdd, and I am reading it and I am comparing it with the the current day, and the interval I want is in months. So current company experience in the months I will be able to capture into current company experience field. Let's run this code. I ran it. A new column should be added. Yes, I got a new column. Let's see what is the value that the new column has. Yes, I have the new column with the value, the number of months each employee is there with this particular company. Okay, I have only 12 observations. Let's correct the code and run it till here. "18 observations in the output data." I have two data sets now, employee based data and employee data. Employee data is a new one that I have created. Let's see the value. Yes, I have the experience in months. And if you see here, work in the work folder, the work folder is where the temporary datasets are created. The permanent datasets are the permanent libraries, which are SAS data, SAS help, all these are permanent libraries. In the work, we have temporary datasets. So once we close the session, they gets deleted. But we have two datasets that are created for now. One is with the name employee data, and the other with the name employee based data. Let's move on to the next set. Okay, the same functionality I can get it from a SAS inbuilt program or procedure, which is SAS SQL, PROC SQL. Using the PROC SQL also, I am just selecting all the columns of this particular table. Along with that, I am creating a new column, the same function I have used, with an alias as current company experience. Let's run this code. It should generate the same result in the PROC SQL. I think this is not the data. I just renamed it. Let's give it as employee based data. If you observe here, employee based data, where is it? Yeah, employee based data. If I run it here, I should get the same result. Yes, current company experience, I have got it, and it should be having the current experience. Let's move on. Yeah, experience in months I have. So we are able to retrieve the data set with a new column current company experience in months, either from the data step or from PROC SQL. Usually the data step, from my experience, it runs a little fast, but it depends. You will be you will be able to use data step or PROC SQL depending on the requirement whatever you have. Sometimes PROC SQL is feasible, sometimes data step is feasible. That depends on the requirement to requirement. So definitely it's very good to have understanding on both the concepts. So moving on, now I'm going to calculate a new field. Employee gets confirmed after working in the company for 6 months. So which is nothing but uh, I have to see who got confirmed in the particular company. So yeah, we are going to use a if statement. If you observe the if statement, it's a little different here. We calculated the current company experience in months. So we are going to retrieve the data with whoever is having more than 6 months experience, just by giving if their current experience is greater than 6. So I am not giving anything else. I am just ending it with a semicolon. So what exactly is it? So the data step, if there is a if condition, it just ended with a semicolon means if there are any records or any observations that satisfy this particular condition, only those observations will be written into the output data set. And where is the input data set? It will be specified using a set command. So the input data set here is the employee data, and the output data set is confirmed employees. On what condition? The current company experience is greater than 6 months. So here I am specifying the format. I have mentioned in format previously. Now I am talking about format in the fourth line of this code. Date dot, it will be in the form of dd mmm yy in SAS, but it is internally stored as an integer value, but in the appearance wise it appears as this particular format. So it will be like something like 01 December 15. So this is the format in which the output data appears. So here the format says the output or the data created in this particular field, it will be in the format of date dot. So when I display this particular data set, it should display me in the format that I have mentioned, that I have specified. So I am calculating a new column, confirmation date, by advancing the date joined by 6 months. Okay, same says exactly from the date, just add 6 months to the particular date joint or particular date whatever we mentioned into this function, and it will give me the final date. Previously we have used intck function, now we are using intnx. It's a uh, vice versa. I said like we are going to retrieve the interval by using the intck function. We are going to advance, or we are going to decrease or subtract the date from the current date whatever we pass to intnx. So here the output of intnx is a date again, but output of intck is the interval. So now I am able to create a new column with the confirmation date by advancing the current date, which is date joined, by 6 months. So let's run this code. I got a new column added, which is nothing but confirmation date. If you look at the joining date, it's 2014 January 15th, and I got two records that did not satisfy the condition because they are not yet confirmed. Very recent information. So let's see what is the date that is calculated. To see the confirmation date, it is July 15, 2014. So 6 months difference. Yeah, 2015 January, 2014 January, and here 2014 July, and 15th July. It is exactly the date is same and advanced by 6 months. The same way here 16th March, so it should be September 15th. So we got a new column created, and it is in the format dd mmm yy. So new column is added. If we want to display the data properly, just print it. It's really easy to analyze the data. We got a HTML output in the results tab, January 2014, 15th January 2014 and 15th July 2014. This is the output format we requested. So SAS displayed it in the format ddmmyy. Now let's move on to a few string functions, or uh, yes, string functions. I'm just using a simple function here. Let's see whoever is possessing Unix skill set. So index is one common string function that we use in SAS. We have so many other string functions like substring, find, um, cat to concatenate the strings. So currently I'm using just index function. It will return an index wherever it finds Unix. So before moving on, just see in the previous data, the current employee, it has filtered two records. Let's see what are all the two records that are filtered out. Employee data. Let's see the employee data, and Yeah, we have two records less than 6, 4 and 2. Yeah, our data is proper. Let's see. Now we have a requirement. Whenever there is a skill set of Unix found, only those records we are going to write it out. So the input data set is, we are going to use the input data set as employee based data. As I changed it, I am just updating it properly here. So the new condition, let's run it. So there are only 6 employees that possess Unix. So see here, the skill set has Unix, and let's move it out. Yeah, we have Unix over here. So whoever is having, whichever record is having this Unix, but Unix in skill set, only those records are pulled out. So that is the use of index function. And finally we have the last, I think this is the last one, where I'm going to add a new field, uh, at the rate symbol. What exactly is the at the rate symbol? My requirement here is, there is a record which is by the name which is having skill set as non-technical. So whenever this non-technical skill set is found in the data, I have to read the additional skill set from a different column, which is nothing but here document writing. So the skill set should be updated as non-technical. Sorry, the document writing instead of non-technical. So, but for all other records, whatever is the actual skill set, that should get updated. It should be like mainframe, J2E, the same value should be retained. So what exactly this at the rate symbol is doing? So whenever we read the data, we read the complete line at a single go. But whenever the at the rate is found, pointer will be just held over there, and we will be able to perform additional logic like this. So here I am reading date joined, experience in years, employee number, and learning credits, skill set. But immediately after skill set, I am just putting a pause by using single at the rate symbol. Now after pausing, I am checking. Here we are using a substring function, character function, or a string function. I am checking if the 13 characters starting from the position 1 to 13 characters, is it non-technical. So here this first record, second record, everything should be written properly, and whenever this non-technical record is found, it will just pause it here. Yes, the first 13 characters are non-technical. Then I have to read the next data. Okay, next data is, next field is name. So after reading this non-technical, I am reading the next field, name, up to 50 characters, and then I am reading another column, skill set, which is also another 50 characters in length. Now I am update what skill set 1 will be holding. Skill set 1 will be holding document writing. So this document writing will be updated into skill set, and I am dropping this particular column, skill set 1, which is temporarily created. Using a drop statement, I am dropping that particular column. So it will not be there in the output dataset. And whenever this particular 13 characters are not non-technical, I am coming here and just reading only the 50 characters which is in the name field, like Jon Snow, Cersei, all these things are read into names. But only if non-technical is found, I am reading an extra column, and that column we will be using it to update the skill set. Let's run it and see how the code is behaving. Yes, we got all the 18 columns. So we got document writing for employee 119615. For employee 119615, we got document writing instead of non-technical. So the usage of at the rate, single at the rate symbol is put a pause onto the reading for each and every record and then read the data. That is just to read the single record. So after this particular, whenever the new input statement is encountered, the next set of columns will be read. If we use double at the rate symbol instead of single, we will be able to read continuously lines instead of just reading just this skill set 1. We will be continuing with the same record. We will not be, if the record is not ending, instead of for example, if we have document writing here, so if we just give 2000 03 01 the next record field also, the next record is having this 2001 instead of here, if we give it here, still we will be able to read the data properly. So what it will do is, it will go on in a loop until all the records from the input buffer are read completely. We will be seeing a few more examples of where exactly we will use this double at the rate symbol in the further classes. For now, signing off. Thank you.
ఎంతసేపు తెలుసా? 25 minutes ఉండొచ్చు.